welcome. And to move into a comfortable seat. So with your hands, rotate your thighs in. Draw the flesh of the buttocks slightly out away from the sitting bones and sink the sitting bones and the buttocks down onto whatever it is you're sitting. Then take your fingertips at your side and lightly down with the fingertips to lift the rib cage up away from this. At the same time, descend the shoulder blades. And if this makes sense to you, and you can just imagine this, descend the inside edges of the shoulder blades. So right really from the bottom edge of the neck downward, descend there. And feel how that gives a little lift to the heart center from the inside. Take the head back a bit, and then keeping all of that, place your hands lightly up or down on your legs. Sunday night into Monday, so like yesterday, was the new moon. And this particular new moon is something I hadn't heard of before. It's called a black moon, and it means it's the second new moon in a solar cycle, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, and so it's a kind of magnified time. And supposedly that the black moon magnifies the new moon qualities, which are qualities of ending and beginning. So the new moon is the end of the cycle and the beginning, the end of one cycle, and the beginning of the next cycle. So we're poised right now in this in-between moment where one cycle is ending and a new is beginning. And this new cycle carries us until the next black moon, which is in March of 2023. So it's a time for us to tune into what is ending or finishing or completing in terms of the cycles in our lives or the aspects in our lives, and what might be in that middle place of ending, after ending and before beginning. The yoga tradition says it's a place of great potential. It's full of possibilities not yet realized, but that can be directed and maneuvered into various directions. And part of the process of the practice is to clear away the impediments and make space for the new beginnings. So we clear away that which is no longer needed, and as a consequence make space for that which is arising or beginning or coming. So we're going to focus on our practice this evening and work with twists, with the idea that the twists are of twisting, constricting and compressing, and kind of digging into that which is needing to be released. And then when we move out of the twist, there's a moment of space that is from the release of the twist. That space is what we want to expand to allow for the beginning of the next cycle to come up and out of that place. So with that in mind, close your eyes. Tune into the breath. And let the first breath or two settle you more your body, into your seat, and into this time and space that you've created for practice. As the weight of your body settles downward into the base of the pelvis, the tops of the legs, and the flesh of the buttocks, bring your attention to the inner column of the torso, that runs from the center of the base of the pelvis, just in front of the anatomical line to the crown of the head. It's really that center pathway that we're wanting to clear out and make space for, so that the next cycle beginning comes out of that center line. So as you take the next breath in, lengthen from the base of the pelvis to the crown of the head. But then as you exhale, without losing any of that length, soften the tops of the shoulders, the throat, and the jaw in particular. Feel for a breath or two the sense that you have great length and integrity in the center of the torso, and softness all around it. Held rooted at the bottom end into the earth, and at the top end into the sky. Then with your next exhalation, join your hands together at your heart. Take a moment to consciously invite the practice to clear out that which is not needed, that which is ending, that which is dissolving, and to tune us into the space out of which the next cycle begins. We'll initiate the practice and seal that intention with one Om. So take a full breath in. And bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, lift your head. If it's comfortable for you to come over and sit on your heels, then if it's not comfortable for your body, change the cross of your legs. So sit so that the knees touch, the inside edges of the knees touch, and you sit back on the heels. If sitting on the heels is not possible, then fill in the space between the hips and the heels with the blanket. And if the tops of the feet or the ankles are uncomfortable here, you can sit on the blanket and support the underside of the shins and the ankles and the feet, and that might be helpful. And then turn the thighs in with your hands, and let, as best you can, let the weight of the body settle down so that the sitting bones make contact with the heels and the knees. Squeeze just lightly together. Then take the arms to the sides of the body, and we'll simply circle the arms a few times, as we often do. So with the palms facing down, take the arms just shoulder height. Rotate now the whole arm so that the palms face up and the thumbs reach back toward the wall behind you and spin down toward the ground. Then, from there, stretch the arms the rest of the way up, as much as works in your range of motion. Then turn the palms out to the side and sweep the arms down. Take the arms just below shoulder height. Rotate at the shoulder joint, turning the whole arms up, and then extending out to the sides, stretch the arms overhead. Rotate the arms out, palms face outward, and then descend the arms. A couple more times like this. Inhale to shoulder height. Exhale, turn the arms, take the hands just a little bit back behind you, just a tiny bit, and then inhale the rest of the way overhead. Turn the palms to the sides. Exhale, sweep the arms down. We'll do two more like this. Inhale to shoulder height. Exhale, rotate, reach the thumbs back and down. Inhale, up. Turn the arms, exhale, all the way down. torso, and then turn the arms to the sides, and exhale, sweep the arms back down. We're going to stay in this position, and if that's not a good idea for you, time. From here, we'll side bend. So take the right hand out to the right, fingers pointing away, and then inhale, stretch the left arm up alongside the left ear. Lengthen all up along the left side of the torso. You can let your left shoulder blade lift a bit, and then walk the right arm out to the right and side bend to the right. Lightly push down with your right fingertips. Sink your left hip toward your left heel. Rotate the right arm so that the inside of the upper arm turns toward the and the inside of the elbow faces out. Then stretch through your left fingertips. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, left arm down. Left fingertips on the ground facing out in line with the left hip. And then inhale, take the right arm up, palm faces in. Lengthen along that side of the torso. And then with your next exhale, walk the left hand out to the left and to the left. Notice that often the chest will turn down toward the ground, so just a little bit rotate the chest to the right. Lengthen from your right hip to your right fingertips. Descend your left shoulder blade away from your left ear, and now really strongly rotate the entire left arm so that the inside of the elbow faces toward your fingertips. It's the same action that we did when we turned the palms up when the arms were at our sides. One more breath. And then inhale up, exhale, release. Last one in this position, a twist. So take your left hand, cross it over your right thigh with the palm turned out. Put your right hand either on the back of your pelvis with the fingers pointing down, or if you can reach on the ground behind you. Inhale, lengthen the left side of the torso so that you get the same length that you had in the side bend. And then as you exhale, left side of the torso around to the right. Drop both shoulder blades. Rotate the entire left arm, so again, the inside of the elbow faces forward. And then do that same action with the right arm. So you're rotating the entire right arm so that the inside of the elbow turns toward the wall behind you. Move your head back. Turn your head all the way to the right. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, release. Other side, so right hand crosses over the left thigh, palm turned out. Take the left hand behind you, fingers pointing away, or to the back of the pelvis, fingers pointing down. Inhale, lengthen the right side of the torso without lifting the shoulder blade. Exhale, twist around the center column of the torso, and turn the chest to the left. With both shoulder blades descending, rotate both upper arms so that the insides of the elbows face outward. Move the head back, turn the head, breathe. One more breath. So now in particular, notice when you come out of the twist, the space that this creates. So inhale back to center. Exhale, release, take a breath here. We're going to move on to the hands and knees. So if you'd like to use your blanket to support the knees, put the blanket across and come over onto the hands and knees. We're going to come into a lunge following cat-cow. So if you want a blanket for that part, have it down now. Then place your hands shoulder distance apart. First and second fingers point forward. Place the knees hip distance apart. Tune into the breath. As you exhale, tilt the tailbone down toward the ground. Round your spine up toward the sky, let your head hang. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Sway your spine toward the earth. forward or up slightly. Keep the shoulder blades away from the ears here. Exhale. Tilt the tailbone down, round your back up, widen the shoulder blades away from the spine, release the head. Inhale, lift the tailbone, sway your spine toward the earth. Look forward or up slightly. Exhale, round. Inhale, sway your spine toward the earth 2 more times, all the way through, matching the movement with your breath. One of the ways that we know if we're moving the body optimally is greater connection to the breath. That might mean the breath is disturbed, erratic even, but we connect to it more fully. After you've inhaled and looked forward, exhale, pause in a neutral position. And then from here, step the right foot up beside the right hand. And don't come quite as far forward as often we do. So the first thing we're going to do here is a side bend. And in the side bend, we want more of the left thigh perpendicular to the ground and the right shin perpendicular to the ground. So your right leg's making more of a 90-degree angle. Then you can put the right hand on the knee or on the hip, pointing straight forward. Inhale, take the left arm up alongside the left ear with the palm turned in. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, you can even shift your hips a tiny bit to the left and lean over to the right. Descend the right shoulder blade. Keep the right knee pointing to the middle toes. And then lengthen, actually even from your left knee, along the front of the left thigh, and then along the outside of the torso. One more breath. Come up. Exhale, just deeply bend the front knee. Because the back knee's on the ground, we can take the front knee past the heel here. So pressing the heel down, bend your front knee forward, straight over the middle toes. Take a breath or two here. And then exhale, hands to the ground, and change sides. So take the right knee back, step the left foot forward again. It's not the big step that we're often taking. So here you're placing yourself so that your right knee is directly underneath your right hip and your left shin is perpendicular, perpendicular to that. Then with the left knee pointing forward, put your left hand either on your knee or on your hip, wherever it's comfortable. And inhale, take the right arm up. Hug the low belly in. And knit the front ribs back away from your shirt so that you really feel like the torso is a straight line from your knee, through your hip, to your shoulder, to your head. Keeping that straight line, inhale. And then as you exhale, side bend to the left. Keeping the front knee pointing straight over the third toe. And the front of the chest facing the wall that you're looking at. Lengthen the right side of the torso. Fold over, drop the left shoulder blade away from your left ear. One more breath. And then inhale up. Exhale the hand down to the knee, and then just bend the front knee deeper. Track the front knee straight over the middle toes of the front foot. Keep your front heel really planted, and at the same time, send your front knee more forward. Pelvis forward. 2 more breaths. And then from here, touch the ground, lift your back knee up, step forward. Standing forward, bend Uttanasana. Take the feet as wide apart as you need to be able to touch the fingertips to the ground. Line the outside edges of the feet to the long edges of your mat. Push the heels apart. Stretch the legs straighter
And as you stretch the leg straighter, straight line from your heel, from the center of your heels to your sitting bones. So you're not shifting the hips back to stretch the leg straighter. You're lifting the hips straight up. Hug the low belly slightly in. Engage the muscles of the buttocks lightly and extend the crown of the head toward the ground. One more breath. From here, straight leg lunge. Bend the knees, place the fingertips on the ground on either side of your hip. Step the left foot all the way back, straight leg lunge. You can move the blanket to the side here if you like. Make sure your right knee tracks over your middle toe. And line your right sitting bone to your right heel. Lift your left thigh up. And now rotate your entire left arm so that your fingers, now your middle finger points straight out to the left. Draw the left shoulder blade away from your left ear. And then lifting your right hand, you can put your right hand on your hip, or in a moment you can stretch it in the air. Twist the torso to the right, and then the right arm up, if that works for your shoulder. Now drop both shoulder blades away from the ears, and especially the left arm. Turn it so that the inside of the elbow spins more forward. Feel the shoulder blade anchor into the upper back there. Lift the chest, lift the chin a bit. Stretch up through the right fingertips. And then sweeping the top hand down. Touch the ground. Bring the left foot forward. Change sides. Step the right foot all the way back. Line your left sitting bone with your left heel. Keep your left knee pointing forward. Lift your right thigh up. Now turn the entire right arm so that the middle finger points out toward the long edge of the mat. Draw your left shoulder blade away from your left ear. Right shoulder blade away from your right ear, and then lifting your left hand to your hip, spin the torso to the left, and then, if you like, stretch the left arm up. Keep bent. Lengthen the right side of the torso. Descend your right shoulder blade. Turn the whole right upper arm out, and then twist the torso to the left, lift the chin, and then sweep the hand down. Exhale. Step the back foot forward, standing forward. Uttanasana. Again, line the outside edges of the feet up so that they're parallel, the long edges of the mat. With the fingertips on the ground, push the heels apart. Stretch the backs of the legs straight up in the air. Hug the low belly slightly in. And stretch the crown of the head down toward the ground. One more breath. And then back to a straight leg lunge with the left foot back. So bend the knees, place the hands by the feet. Inhale, step the left foot all the way to the lunge. Line your right sitting bone to your right heel. Turn your whole left arm out and rotate the left arm so that the inside of the elbow faces the short edge of the mat. Put your right hand on your right hip. Twist the torso to the right. Now, keeping the left shoulder blade down, you can either keep your right hand on your hip or stretch the right arm straight up. Then we're going to straighten and bend the front leg without changing anything else. So keeping the right heel, the right sitting bone tracking in line with the right heel. Inhale, stretch the right leg straighter. Doesn't have to go all the way. Exhale, bend it down, track the knee over the third toe. Inhale, stretch the right leg straight. Exhale, bend. Do two more like this. Inhale, straighten. Anchor the left shoulder blade away from the left ear at all times. Last one. Once your front knee is bent, pause. Sweep the right arm down. Step the back foot forward. Exhale. Inhale, other side. So right leg all the way back. Left knee in line with the left heel. Turn the whole right arm and hand out. So the inside faces forward and your shoulder blade is away from your ear. Then left hand on the left hip. Exhale, twist the torso to the left. Stretch the left arm straight up if that works for you. And then inhale, stretch the left leg straight, keeping the sitting bone in line. Inhale, bend. Sorry, other way around. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 2 more. Last one. So once your front knee is bent, pause. Take the left hand to the ground, step the right foot forward. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees a little bit, lift your chin, inhale, come up. Exhale. Turn and face the long edge of the mat. And stand with your feet right together. With the feet right together, we'll do a side bend here. So, right hand either on your right thigh or both arms up overhead. So, inhale, left arm up, palm faces in, and either right hand on your side or stretch the right arm up as well. If your right arm is up, you have the option of interlacing the fingers and pointing the first finger up. Now squeeze the outside of the calves in toward the center of the body. Squeeze the outside of the hips in. Knit your front ribs away from your shirt. Lengthen the size of the torso. Let the shoulder blades lift. And then shifting your hips to the left, lean to the right. Breathe. Keep the chest facing forward toward the long edge of the mat. Shift your hips way over to the left and breathe into the entire left side of the body. Inhale, come back up. Change the interlacing of the fingers if they're interlaced overhead. If you're doing one arm, then you'll take the left, touch the right arm up. And then everybody squeezing the legs together. Inhale, stretch up. And now as you exhale, shift your hips to the right, lean to the left. Breathe. Down into your heels, but especially the right heel. And then shifting the hips to the right, reach out through your right fingertips. One more breath. And then inhale up, arms, exhale, arms to your sides. From here, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale, step or hop the feet wide apart. Turn the left foot slightly in, rotate the right leg and foot out. Line the heel of your front foot to the arch of your back foot. And your right sitting bone in line with your right heel. Make sure your right knee faces your middle toes. Firm your right thigh. Take the arms out to the sides just below shoulder height, and then like we did earlier, rotate the entire arm so that the palms face up and the thumbs spin down. Then, feeling that anchoring of the shoulder blades into the upper back, take just your palms down toward the ground. Inhale here. As you exhale, shift your hips to the left. Reach. Bring your right hand down to your shin or your ankle. Stretch your left arm up. Breathe. Push your back heel down and out away from you. Anchor the big toe side of your right foot and bring your right sitting bone in line with your heel. Draw your right shoulder blade now strongly away from your right ear and turn your whole right arm so that the inside of the elbow, the crease inside the elbow, is facing toward the toes. Twist the center of the chest to the left. Reach up into your fingertips. Push into your heels. Inhale, come up. Release the arms. Turn the feet. Pause. Second side. So turn the right foot slightly in, rotate the left leg and foot out, front heel lines to back arch. And then plant your back heel, bring your left sitting bone in line with your left heel, firm your left thigh, point your knees straight out over your middle toes. Then take the arms to shoulder height, rotate the whole arm so that the palms face up,
And really spin the thumbs down toward the ground and take your hands just a tiny bit back toward the wall behind you. Now take just your palms down to face the ground. Inhale, shift your hips to the right. Exhale, reach out. And then down, bring your shin, stretch your other arm up. Breathe. Plant your back heel and push it out away from you. At the same time, press into the big toe side of your front foot. And line your left sitting bone with your left heel. Now, descend your left shoulder blade away from your left ear. And then turn the entire left upper arm out so that the inside of the elbow faces toward your toes. Really feel the shoulder blade being anchored into the upper back. And then using that as an anchor, twist the center of the chest to the right and reach up into your right fingertips. Breathe here. 2 more breaths. Push into both heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the arms. Inhale, step or hop the feet together. From here, extended side angle, Parsvakonasana. So inhale, step or lightly hop wide apart. If possible to go a little wider here, do that. And then turn the left foot slightly in, rotate the right leg and foot out. Just like you did in triangle pose, align your right sitting bone to your right heel. Anchor your left heel. And then stretch the arms out at shoulder height. Spin the whole arm so that the palms face up. Take the head back. Now keeping that lift in the chest, turn just your hands down. Exhale, bend your right knee deeply, angle your right knee straight over your middle toes. And then drop your right forearm to your right thigh, left hand to your left hip. Descend your right shoulder blade. Turn the whole right arm out. So it's like if you moved your hand over your toes, it's that action in the arm. And then as you spin the hand toward the right toes, twist the chest to the left. So option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to take your right hand down inside or outside your right foot. Wherever you are, you want to keep that same anchoring of the shoulder blade and the turning of the arm to face so that the elbow crease faces toward the toes. Twist the chest to the left, and now maybe stretch the left arm straight up. Breathe. 1 more breath. Push into your heels. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower the arms, turn the feet. Take a breath. And then the second side. So turn the right foot slightly. Spin the left leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, rotate the whole arms so that the palms turn up. Take the thumbs back a little bit toward the wall behind you. And then rotate the palms down. Exhale, bend your front knee deeply. Track it over the middle toes. And with your left sitting bone lined up with your left heel, drop your left forearm down to your thigh. Put your right hand on your hip. Then, with the left palm turned up, spin the left hand toward your left foot and feel what that does in the shoulder blade. Anchoring the left shoulder blade onto the back in this way, twist the center of the chest to the right. Then maybe stretch the right arm up, maybe take the left hand down. When we go down, often we'll lose the action in the bottom arm. So keep turning the arm so that the inside of the elbow faces in line with the toes. Twist the chest away from that arm. And then if your right arm is in the air, lift up into your right fingertips. Push into both heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the arms. Inhale, step or hop the feet together. Standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Take the feet apart. Have the toes pointing straight forward. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Fold from the tops of the legs, come all the way over.
Touch your fingertips to the ground. Then you need to have that happen. Release the head. Push the heels apart and spin the insides of the thighs toward the wall behind you. Stretch the legs straighter. Hug in the low belly. Stretch the crown of the head toward the ground. 2 more breaths. Bend the knees a bit, put your hands on your hips, lift your chin. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. So just come into a comfortable standing position for a moment. And then rotate the whole right arm so that the palm faces up. Now keeping your chest forward. Imagine you've got a tray of food in your right arm and your right elbow's a bit bent. Then take your right hand and reach it back like you're serving a person behind you, but you're not turning your torso. You're just taking your arm back. Then turn your head a bit the other way, to the left. One more breath here, so both hips face forward, the chest faces forward, and you're just reaching your left hand back and serving, right hand back, and serving the person behind you from a tray of food. And then inhale, come back to center and release. Same thing on the left side, so bend your left elbow, turn your left palm up. So it's just a little bend, like you're holding something that has a bit of weight. Descend your left shoulder blade, and then keeping your pelvis and your chest facing forward. Reach the left hand back, like again, you're serving somebody behind you from a tray of food, and then twist the head to the right. Breathe. Keep the chest and the pelvis forward as best you can, and reach back with your left hand at the same time. Maybe even a little bit out to the left as well as back. And then inhale back to center, exhale and release. The next pose we're going to do is baby pose. We're going to do it in 2 stages and like 2 times. So if you want to use a wall for balance, especially the first time we're doing it more as a thigh stretch, and the second time more as the full expression of the pose. So if you want a balance point, put the left or piece of furniture and stand firmly down onto your left foot. Then bend your right knee, reach back, catch your right ankle, toes, or the back of your pants or something. You can also do this without holding your foot if that doesn't work for either your shoulder or your knee. And it builds the strength in the hamstring muscles then. So now join your knees together. Point your tailbone down toward the ground and hug the low belly in and bring the front ribs back away from your shirt. Then, keeping your right knee in line with your left so it's not poked forward, draw your right heel toward your right buttocks. If you want to test balance, then you can catch the right ankle or foot or pants with both hands. Lengthen the front of the torso, lift the chest, but without bending the spine. So really you're thinking about the column in the center of the torso being as long as possible. Exhale, very gently release the right leg. And then turn around, so now you're using your right hand for stability on support. Stand on your right foot, all 5 right toes pointing straight out, away from you, not to the side. And then, hugging your right hip in, and standing onto your right foot, bend your left knee, reach back, catch your left ankle. Line your knees up, so your left knee is directly in line. Drop the tailbone down, hug the low belly in. Lengthen from the base of the pelvis to the crown of the head. Now keep that and draw the left heel toward your left buttocks. Maybe catch
the leg with both hands, in which case you're bending the elbows a little bit and pointing the elbows straight back behind you. Head back, heart up, shoulder blades down. One more breath. And then exhale and release. So this second time we're doing it more as the full pose. So balance, perhaps. Balance is never necessary, so you can always use support. What we're going to do this time though is we're going to hold the ankle from the inside with the palm. So it's the palm, in this case of the right hand, will turn out and you'll catch the inside of your ankle with the hand. So the palm is facing out against the inner ankle, and then from there you'll kick up and back and fold forward. So it's a little different hand position, it shifts balance. So put your left hand on your left hip, stand firmly onto your left foot, or use the support with your left hand, and then focusing your gaze on your knee, catch the inside of your right ankle with your right hand, palm faces out. Now lift the chest. If you're doing the balancing pose, stretch the left arm alongside the left ear, palm in, and then tip forward, reach the right knee back, and kick the right foot up. Keep the right hip turned forward, so your pelvis and your chest face forward. One more breath. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the foot and the hand, and then change sides. So if you're using support, you can put your right hand on the support, otherwise right hand on your right hip. Stand on your right foot. Focus your gaze. Turn the left palm out. Bend the left knee, catch the inside of the ankle with the hand. Pause, take a breath. The right arm up alongside the right ear, and then keeping the chest and the torso in the same plane. Chest and pelvis in the same plane. Exhale, fold forward. Kick the left knee back. Lift. Stretch the torso out, more or less parallel to the ground. Breathe. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, and release. A blanket for your knees, then put the blanket across your mat, similar to how we had it earlier in the practice. And then stand at the front of your mat. Standing forward, bend from here, separate the feet, hip distance apart, take a breath in. As you exhale, hinge forward. With the fingertips on the ground, bend the knees, place the hands by the feet, and then straight leg lunge, left foot back. Inhale, step the left foot all the way back. And now drop your left knee down to the support. This time have your right knee directly over your right heel, so the front shin is perpendicular. And then bring your hands up to your front thigh. Just for a moment, come into that more straight expression that we did earlier. So you're straighten your front leg a little bit, bring your torso more back over your back knee just for a moment. Hug the belly in, descend the shoulder blades. And keep the low belly back, the torso as upright as possible, bend your front knee deeper. So instead of kind of folding the torso forward over your leg, the torso is a little. Now with your front knee pointing straight forward, stretch your left arm up alongside the left ear. We're going to twist from here. Leg all along the left side, and then as you exhale, hook the left elbow over the right knee. You can put your right hand on your hip, or you can bring your palms together in prayer position. And depending on your body, you could maybe touch the left fingertips to the ground and stretch the right arm up. So now keep your front knee pointing straight forward.
Line your front sitting bone to your heel. And then descend the shoulder blades. Back. And spin the low belly to the right. Twist the chest to the right. Turn the head to the right. Shoulder blades strongly down away from the ears. One more breath. Inhale and wrap. Touch the ground. Lift the back knee. Step the back foot forward. Change sides. So right foot all the way back. Straight leg lunge. And then drop the right knee to the ground. Hands up to your left knee. And line your left sitting bone with your left heel. So keeping that, now just stretch the left leg a little straighter so you bring your torso back, more over your back knee. Hug the low belly in. Keeping the low belly hugging in, bend your front knee and resist the torso coming forward. So you're trying to have your torso be as upright as possible. Then, inhale the right arm up. Lift and lengthen all on the right side. So remember the side bends we did earlier? You want to keep all that length. And then exhale, hook the right elbow over the left leg and take whatever arm position you had on the first side. Breathe. As you breathe, remember that each exhale clears out. And each breath in of a cycle. So with the exhale, we twist deeper into the position, using the compression of the twist to feel into tension collected in the body. And then inhale, unwrap, touch the ground, lift your back knee, step your back foot forward. Fold over your legs, take a pause here, standing forward bend. So bend your knees as you need to, touch your fingertips to the ground. Push the heels apart. Turn the inner thighs toward the wall behind you. Stretch the legs straighter, maybe. Scoop back the low belly. And if your legs are straight, stretch the crown of the head toward the ground. So now we're going to do that same twist, but with the back knee up off the ground. So from a straight leg lunge position. If that balance is tricky for you, then just repeat the knee on the ground version. So bend the knees, place the hands beside the feet. Inhale, step the left all the way back, straight leg lunge. This time keep your back knee lifted. Line your right sitting bone to your right heel. You can move the blanket to the side if you've been using the blanket. And then bring your hands up to your front leg. For balance, squeeze the legs together. Now, to bring the torso more upright, bend your back knee for a moment and lean the torso back over your back leg. Then stretch your back leg straighter. Reach your left arm up, take a deep breath in, and now as you exhale, hook the left elbow over the right leg and hands in prayer position. Lift your back thigh. Line your front sitting bone to your front heel. Descend the shoulder blades. Twist the torso. Maybe turn the head. Inhale, unwrap, touch the ground. Back foot forward, exhale. And then the second side, inhale, right foot all the way back. Left knee bent. Line your left sitting bone with your left heel. Bring your hand. Squeeze your legs together for balance. Bend your back knee. Lean the torso back away from your front leg and hug the low belly in. Now keep that stretch, the back leg straighter. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, hook that elbow over the leg. So the torso does come forward, but you keep that length on the front of the body. And then palms together in prayer position. Twist the torso to the left. Breathe. Make sure your front knee stays tracked over your middle toes. Lift the back thigh up. Make your back leg straight. One more breath. Inhale, unwrap, touch the ground. From here, downward facing dog, unless you're not weight bearing on the hands, in which case do a standing forward bend. If you're doing downward facing dog, place the hands shoulder distance apart and step all the way back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now bend the elbows a little bit out to the sides. Look at your hands, make sure your hands are slightly turned out as well. Then press into the knuckles at the base of your first fingers and the heels of the thumbs. With your elbows bent to the sides, turn the triceps, the outsides of the upper arms, toward the sides of the face. It's actually the same movement we did earlier. External rotation of the upper arms. And then pull the hips strongly back and stretch the arms almost all the way straight so they have just the tiniest little bend. Now keeping the undersides of the arms lifted, away from the wrists, press the tops of the thigh bones toward the wall behind you and let your whole torso sink down in between the arms so that the crown of the head or the forehead moves closer to the mat. 2 more breaths. Slight little bend in the elbows at all times and the triceps turning toward the head. Exhale. Drop your knees to the ground. Lie down on your stomach. So if you were in the standing forward bend, come onto your stomach. We'll meet there. So lying on your mat, stretch your legs straight back behind you. Take your arms by your sides, turn the palms up, and walk your hands toward your feet. Now bring your chin to the floor and walk your chin out away from your torso. Lengthen the front of the throat. It's amazing how much tension I have become aware of in the muscles along the sides of my throat, the front of the neck. So as you lengthen here, take one more breath. And now lift your chin up. You can drop your chin slightly. Turn your head all the way to the right and put your left ear down on the ground. Reach your fingers toward your feet. See if you can get your entire left ear to touch the ground. And then come back to center. So lift your head just away from the ground. And then turn your head all the way to the left. See if you can bring your whole right ear to the ground. Walk your fingertips toward your toes. And a couple more breaths. Come back to center. So you can bring your chin lightly or your forehead to the ground. And then from here we're going to lift the head, chest, and the arms. So you can either have your arms at your sides or interlace your hands behind your back. If your hands are interlaced, bend the elbows slightly. Peel up the low belly, firm the muscles of the buttocks, and then keeping the shoulder blades descending, inhale. Lift your head and shoulders away from the ground. Lift the chest. Keeping the elbows a little bit bent if your hands are interlaced behind you. Reach the knuckles toward the feet. If your hands were at your sides, lift your hands up and reach your fingertips toward your feet. One more breath. Exhale, come down. Change the interlacing of the fingers. Extend your feet straight back, away from you. Hug the low belly up, firm the muscles of the buttocks, lightly press the pubic bone to the ground. With the hands interlaced in the other clasp so that the opposite thumb is on top and you've adjusted all the digits as well. Or with your arms at your sides. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Lift the tops of the upper arms away from the ground firmly. And then inhale and lift up. Keep the elbows a little bit bent. Stretch your knuckles toward the feet if your hands are fingertips, if your arms are straight or at your sides. And then everybody peel the whole front of the torso back away from the ground. Exhale, come down, release your hands, turn your head to one side for a moment. Bring your head back to center. We're going to do the spider cobra variation. So place your fingertips on the ground, off your mat, in line with your shoulders. Turn your hands so that the middle fingers point straight out to the sides like we did in the lunge twist at the very beginning of the practice. Hug the belly, firm the muscles of the buttocks. Descend the shoulder blades. So make sure your hands are wide enough that your elbows are, your upper arms and your forearms are more at 90 degrees wider. You're not too close in. You want space here. Then keeping the pubic bone down and the low belly lifted, inhale, lift the head, push it, hands, fingertips. Hugging the low belly, firm the buttocks, descend the shoulder blades. Then lift the chin slightly, take your head back. Turn your head, look past your right shoulder. Come back to center. Turn your head, look to your left. Back to center, one more time. Your head, look to the right. Reach, look toward your right baby toe, to center. And then left baby toe. Come back to center. Exhale. Come all the way down. Place your hands under your shoulders. Lift onto your hands and knees and then turn over and lie onto your back. Setu Bandha bridge pose. So lying on your back. Draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears. We're going to do a couple of bridge poses here. So bend the knees, walk your heels toward your hips relatively so. So you really want to be able to push firmly down into the center of the heels. Take the arms out to the sides, just below the height of the shoulders. Curve the lower back up away from the floor and also the back of the neck. And then pushing firmly into your heels and the tops of your upper arms. Inhale, lift your hips up. Scoop the tops of the shoulders under. And now, without worrying about lifting your hips super high for this one, straight over your toes. And then turn you can even lift the undersides of the arms and turn the arms so that your thumbs come more down toward the ground. And feel that same work in the shoulder blades, pressing into the upper back. So you're turning the arms so your thumbnails come more down into the ground, maybe lifting the elbow area up a bit. One more breath. And then exhale, take the hips down. Place your arms at your sides. So you can either hold the edges of the mat, or if you're able to catch your heels, hold your heels. Adjust, make sure that your toes point straight toward the short edge of the mat. and your heels are out what feels like slightly wider than the toes. Push the heels down, push the tops of the upper arm bones down. Notice how that already creates activation in the back. And then pushing into the heels. Inhale, lift the hips way up. Scoop the tops of the shoulders under. Point your knees straight toward your middle toes and then lift the outside of your hips up as high as possible. Pull upper arms out and then pressing your heels down, curl your chest towards your chin, bring your shoulder blades strongly into your upper back. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale and come down. Just pause for a couple of moments. You can take the feet a little further away from you, maybe a little wider apart. Drop your knees together. Notice the breath. Notice any sense of clearing out, making space for the movement of the breath. Let go of the exhalation fully, so that the exhalation also invites that clearing out process that is recognizing that some aspects are ending. And then from the deeper exhale, allow a deeper inhale. The inhale, that invitation for the new cycle to begin, to make it its way into the space that's been created for it. From here, a supine twist. So exhale, lift your hips up, shift your hips to the right, put your hips back down, cross your right knee over your left, stretch your right arm out at shoulder height, palm facing up, and then rolling to the outside of the left hip, take your knees to the left. So you can support the side of the right knee with the left palm turned up and your left elbow on the ground, if that works. You could also let the knee drop over more. Your knee doesn't have to touch the ground here, but you just don't want it to there to be any strain in the knee. And press your right hip away from you. Curve the whole spine into the body. Twist the torso from left to right. Bring your right shoulder and as much of your right shoulder blade as possible down toward the ground. The right shoulder blade is not going to touch the ground, but you're as heavy as it can get. One more breath. And then lift the knees up, uncross, even out your hips, release your right arm, and then the second side. So lift your hips up, shift your hips to the left, cross your left leg over your right, take your left arm out, palm up, and then tucking the left shoulder under, drop your knees to the right. As you drop your knees to the right, support the left knee as needed with the right arm. Press your left hip away from you. Curve the whole spine in toward the front of the body. And then twist the torso to the left. Reach from the center of the heart out through your left arm to your left fingers.
into the tension. Invite tension to leave the body with the exhale. And then lifting the knees up, uncross, even out your hips. Take a breath. Roll all the way over to your right side. Sit up. Take your blanket. We're gonna do a seated twist or two. And for seated twists, well, especially these seated twists, you want to make sure that the spine is moving toward the front of the body and lifting up away from gravity, as opposed to dropping down and the spine moving toward the skin of the back. So to encourage that, sitting on height is helpful. So perhaps fold up a blanket or grab a pillow and sit up high enough that when you send your legs out straight, there's the sense that you can lift the torso up without using your arms. And there's a quality of buoyancy in especially the upper half of the front of the torso. And that's important to maintain the integrity of the bones of the spine, the vertebrae, in the process of twisting. The first twist we're going to do is called Marichyasana 3. So bend your right knee in. Bring your right heel, relatively speaking, in line with your right sitting bone. And it doesn't have to be a deep knee bend, but bend it to some extent. Then move your left foot and leg out to the left at about a 45-degree angle, so that that's happening. Point your knee and spin the inside of your left leg down toward the ground. Now take your right hand behind you, fingers pointing away, just like we did right at the beginning of the practice. And then inhale, stretch the left arm up. Now move your torso forward and at the same time tip all of the vertebrae of your spine into the front of the body so that you get as long on the front of the body as possible. Then exhale, wrap the arm around or hook it across. In whatever position you're in, descend the shoulder blades, both of them. Press your right knee and your left upper arm against each other. Now use your right hand to push your torso toward your leg. You want to make all the space between the left side of your torso and your right thigh disappear. Then lengthen from the base of the pelvis to the crown of the head. And now exhale, twist the center of the chest to the right. Keeping the shoulder blades down, take your head back. Turn your head to the right. Breathe. Often here the breath is constricted, and there's a sense that we can't take a deeper breath, a full breath. And that's part of the joy of the twists and the release of the twists, is we get to take in that new breath. So exhale fully, twist around, and then inhale, come back to center, release, and notice this breath. And then the second side. So bend the left leg in, left toe is pointing straight out away from you. Take your right foot out at about a 45-degree angle and turn the thigh in so that the knee and the foot point straight up. Spin the left hand out. So it's that same action, you're turning the entire left upper arm out so that your left fingers point straight away from you. And you want that hand as close to the body as you can get it so that you can push the torso forward, leaning back into that hand. Then inhale, the right arm up, lift up, come forward, and either wrap around or hook across the knee. Press the knee
right arm against each other. And draw the shoulder blade away from your ear. Push your left hand down and move your torso toward your thigh, left thigh. Then, with both shoulder blades down and your left arm turning out, move your head back, turn your head to the left. It's quite similar to that position we did lying down, where we just lifted our head a little bit away from the ground and turned our head. It's the same kind of feeling here, if you've moved your head back well. One more breath. Exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release. And then again, notice this breath. From here, Ardha Matsyendrasana 1, another twist. These are twists named after sages in the yoga tradition, so they don't have very good translations. This is translated as half Lord of the Fishes pose. So bend your right knee, bring your right down, and then cross the right foot over the left. You can move your left foot a little bit to the right this time, and if it's possible to have the foot up so that the toes line up with your left knee, that's where you're going, but that doesn't have to happen today. You want to be able to really push your right foot down and keep your right hip heavy. Inhale, stretch the left arm up, lift the chest so the whole spine dives toward the front of the body, and then tip forward and wrap or hook the arm as we did earlier. So if you're in whatever position you're in now, take the right hand to the ground behind you. Fingers point away. Move your torso toward your leg as best you can. Descend both shoulder blades. Lengthen through the crown of the, up through the crown of the head. Exhale, twist the torso to the right. One more breath. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale, unwrap, stretch both legs out straight. Other side, bend the left leg in, cross it over the right. Move your right foot to the left. And then holding the left knee with the left arm, stretch the right arm up. Lift the chest. So the whole spine dives in. It feels like baby dancer, that balancing pose we did earlier. And then twist, wrap or hook the arm, take the other hand behind you. Push down into your left heel. Push the back of the right heel down. Lengthen the right side of the torso. And keeping the shoulder blades down, twist the torso to the left. Move your head back. Turn your head to the left. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Stretch both legs out straight. Come back onto your back. And here you can have a blanket for your head if you'd like. A couple of closing poses on the back. So, lying down, bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Support the head as needed. Feel the back of the pelvis on the floor, a little curve behind the lower back. And then just notice the breath again. Let the exhalation completely end. Notice the bit of
space, and then let the inhalation come and fill that space. And then from here, Supine Gomukhasana. So take the left foot, walk it a bit to the right, and then cross your right leg all the way over your left. Lift the knees in, catch the knees with the hands, option 1. Or take your hands down, hold the outsides of the calves or the ankles, or maybe flex the feet and hold the outsides of the feet. Wherever you are, take the feet a little bit apart. So right foot to the left, left foot to the right. And push out through the, you're stepping on the gas pedal of a car. Draw the knees in, keeping the weight across the back of the pelvis. And the shoulder blades. So even if the lower back is on the ground, and it very well could be here, just make sure it's not weight bearing. One more breath. And then release the hands. Put the left foot on the ground, uncross the right. And then change sides. So as you cross the left leg over the right, walk the right foot a bit to the left. And then lift the knees in. Hold as you did on the first side. So knees, shins, outer ankles or outer feet. Draw the knees toward each other. Take the feet apart. Breathe. Couple more breaths. Release the hands. Put the right foot on the ground, uncross the left. Both knees to the chest. Lightly hug the knees toward the chest, keeping the back of the pelvis on the ground. Even the tail, maybe rock a little bit side to side, or maybe make little circles with the knees on the back of the pelvis. You're making little circles, then change the direction of the circle. And then draw the knees straight in again over the torso. And then one at a time, place the feet on the ground. Shavasana. So take whatever you need to lie down with full support. So something behind the knees is needed, something behind the head. And then lie down, letting the legs and the feet come just as wide as the outside of the hips. Either take the arms to the torso and turn the arms so that the palms face up, or bend the elbows and place the palms lightly down on the belly. Close your eyes. Each time we let this final pose, we're tuning into the ending of the cycle of practice, and other cycles that may be ending at this moment. So in honor of that, tune into the exhale. And let the exhale, let each exhale empty out fully. And as the exhalation empties out, let the body empty itself of effort, tension. And so you become more and more and more fully aware of the support of the earth underneath you. And are supported by it. As you relax more deeply, let the breath move more fluidly. Without any voluntary control on your part. And let the body gently expand into this space, into this breath. Into the place after the endings and before the beginnings. So without moving, unless it's necessary, just become aware of the breath. We'll just spend a couple of cycles of breath here, tuning into the space between the exhalation and the inhalation. So exhale lightly and fully. Allow the next breath in to arrive. And then as you exhale this breath out, become aware of the pause between the end of the exhale and the beginning of the inhale. And then let the next arise. Exhale. And see if you can just lengthen slightly that pause at the end of the exhale and before the inhale. And then inhale. To lengthen the pause so much that you gasp for the breath in or feel tension. Continue like this a few more rounds. Exhale fully. Little pause, maybe even slightly longer. Natural breath in. 2 more times. And now bend the elbows, place the palms. Take a breath there. And then one at a time, bend the knees, place the feet on the ground. And supporting the head is needed with the right arm. Roll all the way to your right side. And then after a pause there, press down and bring yourself up. Come to sit. Sitting well, close your eyes and join your hands at your heart. May our practice clear the space between the cycles that are ending and the cycles that are beginning. May the cycles that are beginning carry us through till the next black moon in March 2023. We'll seal the practice tonight with one Om. Take a breath in. Thank you. Namaste.